So, how can we explain what's happening and why should you care when a big, well established company gets greatly damaged by a new, more nimble company that comes along? It's the classic David versus Goliath. Well, how do we explain it is an oxymoron that I'll share with you in a moment. But why should you care? Is because it happens to individuals too. And we want to make sure that you remain the David in the story and not the Goliath. Hi, it's David. No, not that David. With another entry into the leadership library for people like you, people who can see a new future. And these videos, this library, is giving you the ideas and the skills and the tools to make sure that you can bring that radically different vision to life. Well, we've all seen that David and Goliath happen in real life. I mean, there was Tesla not long ago was laughed at by the mainstream auto manufacturers that ruled the globe at the time, or Uber that turned upside down the cab industry. There was Google versus Yahoo 20 years ago. Right now, so many small fintech startups are greatly damaging multinational bazillion-dollar financial firms around the globe. And it's not just recent. Like think back, what is it, 50 years when the Japanese automakers were scoffed at by the well-established U.S. auto manufacturers, and then we saw what happened. So it can happen today, and it's going to happen today with all of the changes that are happening. So first, what's happening, and then what can you do about it? There's a trap of thinking that occurs if you've been at a company or if you're an individual who's had long-standing success. You've come to believe you've developed some blind spots, and it happens in every long successful run with companies or with people if you're not paying attention. And first, let me just say, everything I'm going to share in this video builds on another video that I've already shared with you. You can, if you click in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you can watch that, and it's going to give you a much better foundation that's good for anybody who's trying to transform the world or become an accelerated learner. I highly encourage you to jump back and watch that video now or very soon so that everything in this video has an even stronger foundation for you to build on. So first, what's the oxymoron that describes that trap of thinking that leaders of the long-standing companies have? I call it overcoming success. Because the more success you've had, actually the greatest inhibitor to progress and rapid learning and new ideas is the previous success that you've had. What happens when we have so much success is that we begin to believe that we have the answers. In the previous video I shared, there's this notion of we all have a way of looking at the world that's unique. I call that your reality. That leads you to take certain moves, to say yes to some moves, making certain types of decisions, developing certain types of strategies that then lead to results. But what we don't recognize is everybody's reality is limited. And while yes, we have moves available, there are many, many, many more that our version of reality didn't make available to us. So yeah, you can produce results, but the world, it's not infinite the way we believe. And the more success we have, even if we don't have success, let's say that the results we're producing aren't good enough, we can always come back and find another move within our pre-existing set of moves based on the reality that we have. And the more success we have, if we don't have it, we can just come back and make another move. First, you'll do just a lot more work. You'll work more hours. You'll add people to the team. Then usually that works. Or you'll work within the moves that you already have established that exist within the way you see the world as possible, the strategies, the approaches, the decisions. And most of the time that works. And the longer that works without you having to challenge the system, the more you begin to believe that this isn't just a reality that you have. You begin to believe we all do this. The big, large companies, all the way down to the individuals, believe that this is the way the world is. Not just my reality, this is the reality. And that spells danger because it's not true. None of us has the whole vision of the world, and especially as the world keeps changing, even really powerful senses of reality become obsolete and develop even bigger blind spots over time. So the more success you've had, the more you rely on the old success strategies, and the more you begin to believe even get confident or even overconfident that they're the way to go. But remember, the greatest inhibitor to progress, to learning, to new success is previous success. And so it can leave you open to when those new people come along. And many times when all of those examples I gave you earlier in the video about people who have eaten the lunch of a well-established company were new, who had a very different way of looking at the world. Now understand, I'm not suggesting that you should do everything that those new companies do, but you're going to need to adjust how you look at the world and not stay stuck in my reality is the reality, which the more success you've had, the easier it is to do. So we need to help you adjust your reality, and this is more important now than ever. I mean, just look at a couple of examples. Social media continues to change, and many of us, playing catch up. And if you're not there, it's because the reality has changed. It's changed faster than your own reality has. And then look at what's coming towards us with the rapid advance of AI. So many questions that we don't have. There's an opportunity there for us to adjust our realities or leave ourselves really vulnerable to what's coming. So most people will just keep trying their old success strategies and seeing if that works. In fact, that's Einstein's definition of insanity. If they, instead of trying to adjust their reality, they just keep trying to do more and more and more and producing the same results that fall short and wondering what's going on. So let's talk about, what do you do to make sure that you don't get stuck in the old reality and that you're always revising? So we're revising your reality. Look, you wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't open to that. The people who have already turned off the video at this point are the ones who are like, yeah, he's full of it. We're the best. We don't need to listen to this. Or it just doesn't make sense to them. And they're probably more likely to stay stuck in their reality. So what do you do? How can you shift your reality given that you're open to this idea? I hope that you'll do it forever. Well, first of all, just understand that we're performing microsurgery here on your reality. We're not throwing everything out and making it wrong and bringing in only new things. I mean, look at Uber versus cabs. There were still drivers. There were still cars. There were still passengers that needed to get from point A to point B. There were many things that stayed the same. But there were also different ways, a new reality that allowed the new people, in this instance Uber and then Lyft, to come up with different moves, different strategies, different ways of making decisions that produced very different results that, for the consumer, was valuable. So it's not about throwing everything out. We're talking about performing strategic microsurgery. So if you're open to this, as I know you are, to changing your reality, you need to understand that at the beginning, you're going to have a lot more questions than you have answers. And you need to just become comfortable with saying, I don't know, much more than you ever have before. That's a sign that you're revising your reality. If you're able to come up with, and in fact, understand also that coming up with answers is not going to happen like that. If you have a question and you can come up with an answer right away, you haven't changed your reality. You're stuck in the same reality. You're just coming up with a different move or a different success strategy that already existed within the reality that you had. Again, if this isn't fully making sense, remember, I'll flash it up here again. Watch this video that you can click on in the upper right-hand corner to help you get more foundation here. But you're not going to have, as you make changes to your reality, the answers will come more slowly. So be more patient. You're not going to have immediate answers. Also, where will your new reality come from? More than likely, you're going to need to look outside of you. The challenge that you have as an insider is that when you say these radical, we speak from a different reality, people will tell you that you're wrong or you're foolish or that you're going to damage the company. So that's sometimes why people bring me in, actually, because for some reason, an expert is more than 50 miles from, carries a briefcase, which I don't anymore, but carries a briefcase and is more than 50 miles from home. Sometimes the outsiders are the ones that are listened to more. But you're going to need to go to the outside and look at the places, look at the people, look at the other competitors that you might even say are foolish or careless at what they're doing, or maybe you would even say unethical. And again, I'm not suggesting you make the moves that they make, but we need to help you take on a new reality. Remember the video that I've already shared with you about being a strategic bystander. We become the company that we keep. So keep good company. Keep company or study these folks to see how is it they see the world. Maybe or maybe not you'll make moves the way they will, But by you revising your reality, start to see it the way they see it, you'll come up with new moves that are outside of your current level or your current success strategies so that you will be able to make progress. If you're seeing that someone is wrong or saying that they're stupid or all of the people in your success sphere are looking at them, saying that they're the bad guys, beware, because those are the ones that could most likely eat your lunch. And again, that goes for you as an individual. If you are scoffing at the way somebody else is leading or the way they're thinking, chances are they could be a threat. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to help you be open-minded. In a world that is rapidly changing, those who are the most rapid learners, this is an accelerated learning model, those who can be accelerated learners, that's the ultimate competitive advantage in a changing world. I also just remember, as you open yourself to this, you're going to feel more frustrated and feel even resentment than you ever have before. And so you need to remember, take this a mantra on. This is happening for me, not to me, because this is an opportunity for me to revise my reality. This is coming at me to give me the opportunity to revise my reality so I can find moves I'd never thought of, new success strategies, and produce transformationally, radically different results. That's what you need to be able to be open to. So with that, you need to convert your frustration and your resentment, all the energy that you're putting into frustration and resentment, and do something else you can do. And put that energy and attention into curiosity. Because curiosity is like the air you breathe when you're an accelerated learner. So convert frustration, reality into curiosity, because this is happening for you, not to you. So just keep in mind, this is about overcoming success. The more success you've had, the more vulnerable you are to somebody who sees the world differently in a world that's rapidly changing to threaten you. And so we want to help you overcome your own success. And this is where being nimble, being an accelerated learner, sets you up for the most success. And that's what all of these videos are really about, especially this one. So I'm excited to hear how you'll apply this. Please let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.